The problem with this approach is that it is based on a fundamental misconception about why the conflict began and how it might be ended. If the two parties were equally at fault and equally unwilling to compromise, the entire history of the conflict, which is to say, the century old Arab war against Zionism and the Jews, would be different. A more realistic approach would be to recognize that Palestinian national identity is inextricably tied up with that war on the Jews, and that this conception is the motivating force of Palestinian politics. It explains the intransigent refusal of the leading Palestinian parties, the Islamists of Hamas, who govern Gaza as an independent state in all but name, and the supposed moderates of Fatah, who run the Palestinian Authority in the West Bank, to recognize the legitimacy of a Jewish state and agree to a permanent peace. It explains why terrorism and the shedding of Jewish blood is still the primary source of political credibility among Palestinian factions, as well as why the news of the murder of 7 Jews outside a Jerusalem synagogue on International Holocaust Remembrance Day and the Sabbath set off a massive celebration in Palestinian cities and towns. What the United States needs to do is not only to drop the reflexive talk of a cycle of violence, but also to belatedly try to understand the cause of the conflict and to realize that it will only be ended when a sea change occurs in the political culture of the Palestinians that causes them to acknowledge defeat in their long war to eradicate Israel. Moreover, it requires American leaders to also stop pretending that this conflict isn't one about borders or settlements, but about something more fundamental about Arab and Muslim beliefs, about the rights of other peoples, like the Jews, to sovereignty in the part of the world they consider the realm of Islam.